Stay tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here. Coming Soon Podcast once again. Of course, San Antonio, Texas, being joined by Matt Anderson. My man, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing great. How you doing?
Man, I wish I could say I was doing. I was well rested, but I had to run around the house yesterday. But looking forward to the week, man. I mean, work week's coming up, but no complaints.
Yeah, actually, I'm getting ready to head down to do some stuff this week. So I'll be heading down here not too long after we finish chatting.
Great,
Got and going to be gone for a week, away from the house for a week. So hopefully the cats haven't taken over and destroyed everything. But
and I was going to say, man, I mean, who when you end up leaving, I mean, who do you leave at home? Is it just pets? You have family as far as staying with you?
My son lives with me, but he's over at his mother's, and he'll be back about midweek just to check up on him and do anything else. But we pretty much got the house all ready to go before we both left. So but so the cats, the cats have robot feeders, so it feeds them every single day at a certain time, and of course, the litter box is going to get a little filled, but they'll, it won't be too bad. It shouldn't be too bad.
No, for sure, brother. I think that's what I need to get myself, a little feeder, man. That way, in case I forget, might come in handy, bro.
Oh, it does, but when the power goes out, then you got to reset the whole dang thing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's a process.
No, for sure. Well, let me ask you this, because I am in San Antonio, Texas. Where about are you at?
I'm in Frederick, Maryland. It's kind of a good hub town for the area that we call the DMV, which is a local shorthand for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And some people say that it's like the DMV, it's hell, but I actually love it here. There's a very large and active film community in this area, and it actually includes Pennsylvania, Delaware, West Virginia. So, the DMV is kind of my home base, but I've worked in all the different areas. So, we really, there's a very large film community and a lot of really great people out there making movies. You can see them on just about everywhere on different streaming services like Tubi, Fossum, as well as the direct DVD sales and Amazon Prime. I mean,
Streamers, huh?
We're everywhere.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, let me ask you, I mean, with that being said, I mean, do you guys have a nice, great enough community to where you guys kind of help each other out, or, if somebody needs something, they can reach out and ask?
Yes. Actually, that actually just happened this weekend. Somebody asked me, "Hey, what was the location that we used for filming this when I was helping you out on this movie?" And I was like, "Oh, well, it was this place." I have the ability to burn Blu-rays. So anybody who's got a film premiere at a theater and they need a Blu-ray done, they can ask me, and if I've got the time and the availability, I definitely will be there to help them out. And then if I need a sound guy, I've got 3 people that I'll recommend instantly. For music and for cinematography, and I also try to work with new people. I always like meeting new people because there's so much talent out there, and so much of it that we don't know about until we actually, sometimes I like this one actress, Jordan Hunley, who, I met her through Backstage, and she auditioned for the role in my current film that we're working on, These Things, and she's already starting to blow up. She's already been cast in several different films and short films and all sorts of stuff. So it's and everyone's like, "Hey, what's it like to work with her?" I'm like, "It's great." So So yeah, we try to help each other out, and when we can, where we can, and it is a very strong community out here. Um, you know,
No, that's good to know, man. Because of course, I mean, here in San Antonio, when it comes to the film industry, it's always been big. It's always been underground. It's always indie. Even more so now. Like I've been interviewing a lot of locals as well, and it just turns out everybody knows everybody, which is great. It's like people have worked with each other, started with somebody, and they just kind of branched off, and it keeps growing. And that's one of the things I like because I mean, when you guys are out there working, you might get somebody to help out with lights, and it turns out they're better as an actor or vice versa, so you kind of keep growing with it, man. So it's like you won't know till what you're gonna end up doing until it starts happening, and I like it. It's growth.
Yeah. I mean, I've done just about every role behind the camera. I've done a little bit of acting, but even though I was an actor in my youth, I find that I'm much happier writing or behind the camera. So that's kind of where I'm staying.
No, for sure, man. And let me ask you, I mean, talking about camera, you're a photographer as well, man. I mean, tell us a little bit about how that started.
Oh, well, long story short, I used to run a website that did anime DVD reviews and um, uh, Asian cinema. And one of the things that happened is I started going to conventions and started doing cosplay photography. And even though I had a lot of raw talent, I was not as refined as I am today.
Right.
But a lot of people like my work, so I started getting work and developing and building, and then I had some good mentors who told me, hey, you want this is okay, but you want to make it better, you want to make it pop, you got to do this, and then eventually it just became a little side business when I went back to college, and I don't do it as much. The movie stuff kind of takes a lot of my focus, but once in a while I'll do a photo shoot, just to keep my skills up and try some new ideas.
Nice, bro. I mean, that's always great because, like I said, I mean, for me, I started covering combat sports. I used to train in jiu-jitsu and MMA back in 2000 till 2005. But I was invited to go help a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Hey, man, get a camera. We'll start doing press, media passes." So we did, and it just turned out I was pretty good, man. I was always a photographer way back when we used to use those instant cameras. I'm sure you remember those, but so I figured why not, but I kind of grew with it, and I got good. I didn't get into the whole editing. I didn't have the patience, unfortunately, man. But I mean, when it came to like still shots, before filters became a thing, I used to use work with lighting. So that was my thing. I always just worked with the lighting, got some stuff published. I was in a book, I was in a few magazines, which was surreal, but
Oh
I
yeah.
like it. I still shoot, but it's just one of my things is always behind the scenes, a lot of BTS, man. So if I'm available, if somebody asks, I'm like, dude, I'm there. I want to get some of that footage.
Yeah, no, I'm a firm believer in trying to do everything in camera, whether it's filmmaking or photography. I know people like filters, and sure, they can be a little bit of fun, but honestly, there's nothing I can't stand more than when I get a headshot of an actress or an actor, and they've used a filter, and it I try to look past that, but sometimes it's so egregious. I'm just like, no.
Man,
So,
let me ask you this. I mean, because if somebody sends a headshot, I mean, for the most part, do you research that person? I mean, do you look them up and are you like, man, who is this? Like, is it that bad or that obvious?
no, if they have a glowy filter and it looks kind of like
Oh,
soft
okay.
focus, that's usually my like. But no, I research any actor that applies for one of my films. If I haven't seen their work or I don't know what they are or anything like that, I'll do my research. I ask for a resume or a CV, and hopefully they've got a website. I prefer a website to an Instagram, but I mean, I'll use Instagram, I'll use Facebook, I'll use YouTube, their demo reels, whatever they've got. Before, and it's always it's always the acting and how do they embody the character. And there have been a couple of places where I've had roles that were written for like a man, and this woman, Kathy Saunders, came in. It was a role for a man, but she killed it so well.
Damn.
The role became that for a woman. So it's always about the actor. It's not about the look. Certainly, looks are a factor. I'm not going to say they're not, but ultimately, it's how well do they embody the role? Do I believe it? Do I identify them with that role? I even tell people, if they really have embodied and embraced that role, I may call them by their character name while we're filming, and understand it's not because I don't remember their actual name. It's just because that's all I'm seeing. I'm seeing the character. So, that's kind of a good actor.
I was right before COVID, I had started trying to get into acting. There was this one audition that I went to, and the name of the character was he was like the funny guy in the group, and basically he got killed off. But I was like, man, I'm gonna try for this. And I think the character's name was Joel. So I was like, the whole time I'm waiting in line, it was like my first. I've done some acting. I mean, nothing great, but it's just like I was like, man, like I wanted to get into this. And when I finally, they called me in and they're like, okay, name, and I was like, Joel, and they kind of looked at me and they were like, that your real name? And I said, well, it is for the movie. And they were like, oh, okay, but it was super awkward, man. And I didn't get called, I didn't get casted, but COVID happened and everything shut down, but it was just, it's funny you say that because it's like if you're out there for a role, you kind of want to get into that character's mindset, just kind of turn that switch and play it out.
Yeah, if you can embrace the role, you're definitely going to get the part. As I said, I've had several roles where we had, when the screenplay was written or whatever, we had one original thought and the way that the character looked, and then another person came in and just blew the door off the hinges, and we're like, okay, we're done. we
found the
whole idea.
No, for sure. But man, I mean, of course, there's a few. There's a lot of things that you're involved in when it comes through the years of coming up through film. One of them, and this is just an image, but this is. Let me ask you about this right here. Key 13 Films. I saw that in your in the film and photography. So what is Key 13? What is that? What is that?
Well, Key 13 Films was was the name of the company that myself and a couple of other folks who unfortunately had to move on due to other commitments. You were talking about COVID. COVID really did a number on a lot of people, and it caused a lot of people to have to kind of move on to different things. But Key 13 Films was created with myself and a couple of other people because we wanted to try to make the films that we wanted to make. And we really wanted to kind of to go a little bit of a different route. Horror films, a lot of horror films, slasher films, that kind of stuff gets made in this area. And believe me, I love them. I love them all. But we decided we didn't want to go that route. We wanted to come out the gate with something a little bit different. And then the big thing is that all of us, we are very much, we did a lot of studying. We worked on a lot of things, and of course, my photography with composition and framing and things like that comes in very handy. Right. So we decided to kind of do different kinds of films. When we first started, we took all that knowledge that we had gained from school and studying and practical use, and we worked on other projects and created this little enclave, and we added in the photography arm too. I could have originally, it was kind of kept separate, but decided to bring that in there in as well, so that we can offer things like headshots and other services, all related. And we have our studio. We did our show We did a show in our studio with the green screen. We have that capability. We've worked on a couple of films that they've used Key 13 photography studio, even though it's not really just a photography school.
Right.
It's a studio, a little small thing. It's not. I'm not sitting there. I'm not Paramount or Warner Brothers. I'm not. I don't have a big old sound stage, but definitely for the independent world. We just wanted to make a different mark on there. Then but as much as we love like Key 13 is our more movies with a message.
Right.
And then we created Cinephoto, which is our offshoot. And that's for the more fun, entertaining films. We've got one, Heavy Duty Man, that will be coming out this year. That's kind of got a very Toxic Avenger vibe. The one that we're working on now in pre-production called These Things.
Yeah.
Good old 80s and alien invasion kind of film. And then with Key 13, we have our movies like Anna Key, which came out in April, is now on the festival circuit. And then Serious Profession, which is also coming out. Our George A. Romero's Resident Evil documentary, that is coming out as well. It's just in the hands of the distributors, so it's up to the distributors to decide what they want to do. So we started that, and we celebrated our 4-year anniversary in November.
Yes.
We'll be celebrating 5 years this November. So it's been a hell of a journey.
No, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, you keep bringing up this new film that you're working on, which is that project, man. And I'm gonna post an image right quick just so people can see. But it is a sci-fi thriller, the whole horror. I mean, it's got the whole 80s vibe, and I'll be honest. I mean, when I saw this, I said, man, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and I love it, bro. There you go, man. But let me say this. I work at Academy Sports here, like part-time, right? And those things are in the outdoor section, like all over the freaking place. And when I saw that, I said, man, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Yeah. The funny thing about these things is that this was a dream. It came in a dream. I was, one night I was just lying, dreaming, and I'm in this movie theater, in the back row of a movie theater with my then partner, and he and I are watching the movie, and we've got our hands in our faces, and I hear on the screen, "What the hell are these things?" And I just knew I had to write it, and so I did, and then we just landed on killer. Well, we can't call them what they actually are because copyright, but so we call them whoosh balls. So killer whoosh balls from outer space. And then originally it was just going to be very much like Attacking the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So really kind of basic special effects. But then we had the luck of getting a very excellent special effects master, Craig Sturtz, who was in and worked on Harbinger Down, which is, a cult film, very well loved and received by a lot of fans. He came up with the designs with the whoosh balls with the teeth, which you showed in that picture. Yeah. And his work is outstanding. We've shown quite a bit of it. We've shown the puppets that we're using. We just did a video with it, for our funding campaign. So we're showing off the thing. So it's not just us throwing these things, although there is going to be some of that. There's actually a perk where people can come on set and throw these things. But there are actually going to be some real practical effects with teeth and all that. So it's definitely now moved more into like critters, that kind of tongue-in-cheek fun film. Of course, we don't have the cool alien bounty hunters that their faces can change. But we definitely are. It definitely is going to be a lot of fun. We've got everything that you'd expect from an 80s film, a little bit of titillation, a little bit of drama, a little bit of weed, just whatever, all the stuff that you need, but obviously with a very modern twist, with like cell phones and things like that.
No, for sure. And I was gonna say that's one of those things, like if the movie premiere, the whole front row should be holding it like two each, and when the movie starts, they just start tossing those things to the back, man. Attacking people, man. I just saw that in my head, but yeah, man, I love it, bro. I saw the video that you were mentioning, and I was trying to save it on this, and it wouldn't allow me to, just so I can show it. But yeah, I saw it, and I said, man, that's one of those movies, like for myself, when it comes to horror, like I love comedy. I love comedy horror. I love, the cheesier the better. I actually have one of my sponsors here, Enrico Products, man, and they're all about cheese, man. So that's how I love my horror when it comes to fun entertainment. It's my go-to, but I like it. There's actually a few perks, and I'll definitely talk to you about that after we're done, but that I'm interested in. And it's one of those films that I definitely, I'm like, man, I want to be a part of this. If I was local, I'd be like, man, let me get that perk and grab the. Even though I can't throw straight, I'd probably be missing everybody, but still, we'll toss them out there and try to do my best. But yeah, man, it sounds like a fun film, man. I mean, how much? I mean, because obviously right now you guys are in pre-production, so you're still filming, right?
No, we haven't started filming. We will be filming in July. We're going to take 5 days, and we're just going to power through. So now we've done a couple of read-throughs, which have been outstanding. We filmed our proof of concept trailer. So what's in that trailer is just an idea. It's just the surface. We didn't have like the puppets with the teeth and stuff ready at that point. So, excuse me. So we didn't have those ready at that point, but we're going to be adding those in, and it's just going to be amplified, and it's definitely going to be. It's a lot of fun. It's got some cheese. It's got some silliness. It's got everything that you kind of want from an 80s influenced sci-fi horror comedy. So we're going to do our best, and the cast is absolutely outstanding. As Jordan Hunley, who I told you about earlier. We have some other known people like Kay Leahy and Justin Martin, who've been in quite a few of the films here in the DMV. We have Hunter Redfern, who's starting to get into a lot of things. We have Christina Santiago, who's also been doing a lot of things. Tony Bazemore Jr., who I worked with on Anna Key. Brought him on board because, I wanted to work with him. I wanted to work with everybody. Jordan was one of the few that actually had to audition along with Hunter. We have Brandy Lynn Dalton, who is also a rising star in here. So we have a really good mix of established actors and rising stars in this film. Yes. So, we're really just working hard, and everybody's been fantastic. And I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better cast.
No, yeah, because even just going through the IMDb yesterday, I mean, I'm looking at the names, and I'm like, man, a lot of these happen in other indie films that I've seen, and I'm like, dude, that's cool that, I mean, they're trying to reach that goal, whatever they want to be in it. I mean, of course, they're actors, they're actresses, but I think it's fun, man. I mean, it's like I try to jump on a few perks myself, a few projects here locally, just because I don't have to drive far, but. But nonetheless, I want to be, it's like I tell some of the producers here or directors, I'm like, man, even if let me go behind the scenes, grab some shots. Like, I just want to be there and just try to soak it all in and get that experience. But, yeah, for those that are actually trying to make a run for this, dude, I mean, that's great, man. I can't wait to see a lot of these actors in the big film, I mean, it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about traveling. We have Heather Harlow, who's our special guest star. She's coming out from Chicago, from Illinois. She really wants to be a part of this, so we're so happy to have her. I worked with her on my phobic short film, and she was just knocked it out of the park. So, like I said, we have a really great cast and really good people on board, and they're all very much involved and dedicated to getting these things made. So I'm very happy and very lucky.
No doubt, man. Now, of course, I mean, when it comes to doing all these projects, man, all these businesses. I mean, when it comes to photography, doing video, like what is it that keeps you going? What motivates you?
Really, I love the writing process is kind of where a lot of this comes from. So I have a lot of ideas and a lot of stories I want to tell, and it takes a lot of work to tell them. And when you have really good people working with you, like I've had, that makes the process better. I've got Andrew Steiner, who's been working with me since my first film, Serious Profession. I always know I can count on him. And, I've got he calls himself my consigliere, Tom Tui, who directed one of my ideas, Heavy Duty Man, for Cinephoto. And, he wrote it and directed it, and he's the lead on that one. So I have them, and I have Amanda Megan, who's been with me on several films. She directed Anna Key, which was one of our big projects. And just so many others. So they also keep me motivated. When I'm having those moments where I'm sitting there going, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through all this stress? Why is my funding campaign not doing as well as I thought it would? Why is, they're there to say, well, look, you've got to look at it this way. This is what you've done. This is the success that you have had. This is what you need to focus on. So, it's starting off with telling all the stories that I want to tell, but then it's all the people involved, just, pushing me on, encouraging me, reminding me what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to go. And because of that, that's why we're going to be celebrating our 5th year and more years beyond.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, the fact that you guys are having fun out there making this, I mean, it's just like work. You want to be wanting to go out there, I mean, of course we all got to work. But for me, it's just like if I'm somewhere and I don't enjoy it, man, I'm just going to move myself, put myself where I'm going to be, at least wanting to go to work, I mean, doing what I'm doing. But I mean, films, I mean, they're always fun. I mean, for the most part, they're always fun to go to, man. And if everything works out great, then, even better. But I mean, I know you said you had to go, man. I mean, I don't want to wrap it up too quick. But one more thing, when it comes to auditioning, I mean, what you said earlier, I mean, obviously you look up resumes, you see what they've done. But are you one to give like somebody that's, say it's their first film? I mean, would you be that guy that kind of like, okay, you know what, I have something for you? I mean, just to give them their little, foot in the door, should I say, sort of thing.
Absolutely. The hardest part about the movie world, especially the establishment, is getting your foot in that door. There are so many people out there that are really talented, but they never get a shot because the big studios won't let us in. If you don't have an agent, you haven't done, so you basically have to do an independent film, have it be successful, and then they'll actually, agents, and then we'll start paying attention to you. So one of the things that I set out to do is I didn't want to be that. And granted, I'm just a little small studio. I mean, you're looking at it. You're looking at Key 13 Films. But when I set out to do this, I wanted to work with everybody and people that may not have had the opportunities. If they're right for the role, I don't care I do care, but I mean, I look at the resumes and CVs and demo reels just to get a sense. But if not, then, it's got that that initial audition just takes on so much more weight. And so, Jordan Hunley at that point had not been in a lot of stuff. She'd been in a couple things. Tony, who's our lead in these things, plays Jordan's love interest. He's only been in bit parts in things. But he so impressed me on his work on Anna Key that his work ethic as well as his acting ability. I just said, you know what, I want you to take the lead on this one. I know you can do this.
Nice.
Just because you don't have a long list of movies, doesn't mean that, I'm just going to dismiss you out of hand.
Right.
That's just not the way to do it. And consequently, there have been people who have a long CV, a long list of films that just they, for whatever reason, just didn't quite make it through the audition process. And that happens as well. So, it's always, as I said, it's always about the acting. But I try to weigh as many factors as I can into the decision. And usually, depending on the film, like with Anna Key, we had we had 4 producers, and they all had to put in their buy-ins. Right. And once they put in their buy-ins, then we're like, okay, yeah. So sometimes it's by committee, sometimes it's just me. Like these things, it was me. A couple of the actors in there I wanted to work with, that they're established, like Kay and Justin. I had never worked with Kay before. I worked with Justin briefly on another project, but I knew that they were going to deliver what I was looking for. Jordan, like I said, she'd only been in a couple things, but she killed it in the audition. Hunter was perfect. Brandy, I've been liking the work that she's been doing. Heather Harlow, I had to get her in, because I loved working with Heather. Christina is another one. I really wanted to work with her. Her list is not as long as some of the others, but it's still a great, she did this monologue improvised, and she just killed it. So it's always gonna, it's not necessarily what you've done, it's how well you do the audition.
Right.
And I'm willing to give a chance to those who may not have a lot of experience, but have that whatever to get past that audition phase.
No, man, that's good to hear, man. Because of course, a lot of times, you don't know what, how good you are till you try it, and a lot of times people unfortunately don't get that opportunity, to go out there and try something. But let me ask you one more thing, boss. When it comes to earlier, you said that you have the capability of making Blu-rays. Now, this is for one and done, right? Like if they need a copy for a theater, you said.
Right. No, I can't do mass production. No, mass production would be one at a time, and no. Could I make my own DVDs with the case, buy the cases, and print up the cover and the insert and all that? Sure, but there are far better and far cheaper options than having me do that. So, pretty much, yeah. I just basically, burn a screener disc, for lack of a better term, which they can then take to the theater, which they can put onto the screen in high quality 4K. It's not technically it's only 1080p definition, but still, it's really great. Looks great on the big screen. Anna Key, I did that for another film called The Only Ones, directed by Jordan Miller. He put that on there. Remnants, did it for Remnants, which is directed by Mark Byrne, who's one of the big filmmakers in this area. So, if I can do it, I'll help out where I can. But if you want the nice thing with the shrink wrap and
not the guy, huh?
You're gonna have to go with somebody else. That's not me.
No, I was gonna say, before I start sending you people, you're like, who the heck's ordering 20,000 copies, right?
Yeah, no. One and done's.
Nice, bro. That's good to know, man. Cause I always hear, if I hear something, definitely I'll send people your way, see if you're available, like you said. But man, I appreciate you jumping on this. I know you had somewhere to be. Love to bring you back on here, bro. I know the film itself, these things, it hasn't filmed yet, but I am interested in a few perks, man. So we'll definitely talk. But don't hang up yet. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up? Let me ask you that.
Sure. You can visit www.key13film.com key13film.com, not Key13 Films, even though we're that. It's key13film.com. It has links to everything. You can also find us on Facebook under Key13 Films, or send a photo. We have the Indiegogo funding campaign going on right now. We're 19 days left. We really could use a lot of support from the community out there. You know, we're going to make the movie regardless of how much we raise. You know, some of it's going to be funded from my own, from the Key13 Cinephoto bank account, obviously. But yeah, any support that you can give us, any help that even just by sharing the links would be great. If you go to our key13film.com page, there is the link to these things. You can go straight there and go straight to the Indiegogo page, or find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. We're out there. So really appreciate. And I want to say thanks to everybody who has supported us, who is supporting us. Without them, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. And, you know, and I know full well that because of them, we're going to make this really great sci-fi horror comedy, just like we've made a great crime drama with Serious Profession, a great emotional drama like Anna Key, a fun movie like Heavy Duty Man, and this really interesting documentary, George A. Romero's Resident Evil. So I highly encourage you, visit our site, support our projects, watch our short films, do everything you can, share the links. Everything you do is greatly appreciated, and I thank everyone.
No, for sure. Well said, man. Of course, you know, definitely support indie films. I mean, this is where it's at when it comes to creativity. I love it. Man, Anderson, thank you for jumping on here. Don't hang up yet, my man. Everybody out there, of course, once again, this is Spider, Coming Soon Podcast. Till next time, follow up.